that I've made again. Well, you know I just really need a friend. Understand? You always laugh cause you know how I am. Ups and downs and everything in between, and what life's about, and you know I see what you mean about finding the good in everything. What would I do if I didn't have you? You make my day, you put a smile on my face. That's just your way, there's nothing more to say. No one else could ever take your place. You make my day. Oh, oh,
Hi. Hi. Hi, everybody. Who is Sue Fries? You know, each one of us has a story, and each one of us, we're a summation of the experiences that we've had in our lives. And so I'm just going to kind of share with you my life, as well as I can, in Reader's Digest version, because I like Reader's Digest version. And I have to put my glasses on, and I lost my glasses. So here we go. So I'm going to start with sand crabs. When I was 7, that was my introduction to entrepreneurship. When I was 7, we used to go to the beach because I lived in Orange County near the beach. And we'd go to the beach and I would collect sand crabs. And I would put them in a baggie with water and sand so they wouldn't die. And then I would take them back to the house. I'd get a big red wagon. Remember those red wagons? I don't know. Do you remember the red wagons? And I'd put the sand and the sand crabs and the salt water in there, and I would walk around the neighborhood and I would sell sand crabs. I know. And that was my first. Then the second was poodle grooming. There was a lot of poodles in my neighborhood. There were. So I'm thinking, they need to get fixed. They need grooming. And so I decided to open up shop in my garage. And so my mother bought me a little one of those shavers. I went to the library and I learned how to do all these different cuts, these different styles. I took pictures. I'd show my neighbors, which one do you want? And then they would bring their dog over, and I would go pick them up and I would deliver them. That was part of my service. And, you know, and then that was done. And I learned a lot about business then. And it was really fun. And my mother taught me about expenses and, you know, how we need to deal with this. So at a very young age, I learned about business. And I also learned that, you know, fill a need. You know, you look for a need and you fill it. So that's what I did. Next, gymnastics, CIF champion, and even bars was my favorite, loved it. And cheerleading. Didn't love as much, but I did it because I could. Then senior year, I had braces on my senior year. I remember getting them off right before prom. I was so excited. And then I ended up getting in my car at the end of that graduation and heading off to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. And the reason I chose Fashion Institute, because I like glamour. I'm into the glamorous thing, right? So I wanted to go where there was glamour. Go figure. Where did I end up? You know, anyway. So, another story. So I went to the Fashion Institute, and I gained 15 pounds when I went there because of mac and cheese. I ate a lot of mac and cheese, you know, the budget. And at that time, I remember back, they were 19 cents a box. So I ate mac and cheese. That's all I could afford. So that's that. Next was American Bandstand. I met a gentleman, and we got asked to go on American Bandstand. Dick Clark, some of you know, some of you don't. It's okay. Anyway, we were on there for 2 years. We were regulars on there for 2 years, and we were asked, voted in, to be in the national contest. They had a national contest once a year, every year, and we were chosen. So that was pretty exciting. What we had to do is we had 8 weeks, 8 different routines that we had to learn and perform. And then back then they didn't have phones like they do now. So the people that were watching on the phone, on the TV, what they would have to do is they'd have to send in a postcard. A little more difficult to accomplish, but they did it. And so they'd have to send in postcards. So the people that were watching sent in postcards, and we won. What did we win? TJ, my dance partner, and I each won a car. And so that was a highlight for us, but I didn't realize that it was a highlight at the time. I just didn't realize it was really a highlight, but it was. Then after that, I got married. After that, I had 2 beautiful children. One is still trying to get here, and one sitting right here. And balancing work, home, marriage, church, and play was a lot of juggling. There was a lot going on, and I know probably everyone in the room can pretty much relate. Balancing is a difficult thing. It seems to be getting more difficult than before. When I grew up, I water skied, I snow skied, I danced, I motorcycle rode, I horseback rode, I ran a stables for about a year. And those were the fun things that I remember. I just remember doing all of those things. I worked with my husband in business for 20 years. I learned the pest business. And then I bought Ecola, Termite and Pest Control, in 2000, March 15th to be exact. And at the time, I think there was around 30 employees. We have 80 now, so that's pretty exciting. We have 60 trucks on the road. We have 7 offices, and we serve from San Diego to Paso Robles and growing. So it's very exciting that that's all going on. Also, I have a syndicated radio show for 7 years now. I can't even believe 7 years has passed by. I'm an author of 2 best-selling books. I just now signed a contract for a year to be on PBS, Public Broadcasting, and I have the Sue Freeze TV show actually on TV. I mean, it's like crazy. And then I'm touring. I have 2 gigs already, and I'm going for more, touring to be keynote speaker. So I'm practicing on you. I hope that's okay. Okay. So that's pretty much me. That's the Sue Freeze. But, it's a big but, I've had to hold on to a scripture, and the scripture is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I hold on to that very strongly, and let me tell you why. When I was 7, I wanted to go to camp, but my parents couldn't afford to send me to camp. So I had to find a way to get to camp because I wanted to go and have fun, because my childhood, my family origin was not happy, very happy. There was a lot of argument, a lot of fighting, a lot of dysfunction. And so I just wanted to go and have fun for a while. And so what I did was, I said, Mom, how do I go? How do I earn the right to go? Tell me what I need to do. So she went and got the paperwork. She brought it, we sat down, and she explained to me that I had to sell, I can't remember how many, it was a lot, about 60 cans, maybe 160, I don't remember, of toffee-covered peanuts in the cans. And I had to go door to door, knocking on door to door, and say, would you please buy some peanuts for me so I can go to camp? And I did it, and I went to camp. And there was so many lessons in that journey of making a goal, setting a goal and progressing through it. You know, you set a goal, you plan it out, and you do it, right? And the pain has to be worth the gain, and I had to get this. I had to go to the camp. So I did. So I went to camp. Boy, I had no idea what I was in for. When I went to camp, it was fun. I met some really nice friends. We went to YMCA camp, and it was all girls. That's okay. Anyway, I went there, and something that I wasn't really expecting is we had campfire where you smell the pine trees and you're outdoors, and you know, we had fun during the day, and then the night comes to a close. It's just so special, those memories. Are you there with me? If you feel it? Anyway, I received the Lord that night. They were talking about Jesus. They were talking about getting saved. They were talking about his love. And I said, me, I want him. So I received the Lord. Very sweet. I came home and I was so excited. I was so excited. I could not wait to tell my mom that I found the Lord. And she says, Susie, come in. She called me Susie. That was endearing, Susie. And she says, Susie, come in here. I need to talk to you. I said, okay. And I go in, and I sit down. I'm all excited to tell her about my camp. And she says, your father and I decided to get a divorce. And I went, no, you can't do that. I found God, and God's going to fix this. You just got to give him some time, and he's going to fix it. Just hang in there, Mom. You got to just, he's going to fix it. She says, honey, we've already made our decision. And at that moment in time, I felt so lost, so out of control. Can anybody relate? I felt so, I had no voice. I was so little, and I just had no voice. And I had no idea what my life was going to be. I had no idea who I was going to live with and where I'm going to live. And, you know, I think I was around 10 or 11 years old. Tragic. I don't wish this on anyone. I'm saddened by this. I had no control. My dad would yell. Every time he came home, he was mean, and he was angry, and he just was not happy with himself. He wasn't happy with life. And he used to say things like this to me. Susie, you're like a bull in a china closet. Or he'd say, use some common sense, would you? Or he'd say, your table manners are terrible. He would say these things so often that I got very, very thin because I did not want to eat at the table. I did not want to eat. And I received those things because he was my father. And I found out later that he always wanted a boy. Actually, then I kind of felt like he really didn't want me. And so I tried to be that boy that he so badly wanted, so I was very athletic. I wanted to play with the boys because I just didn't like playing with dogs too much anyway. It was kind of boring. But I wanted to be that son that he wanted. So I wanted to be as close to that as I could. It never measured up, and it never worked for me. It didn't work. He was just Dad. Then when they got divorced, my mother decided to marry an alcoholic. And I was sexually molested, which was not fun, obviously. And then she divorced him. And my father died of lung cancer. During the time, he was in the hospital, and I remember I was doing the American Bandstand contest, and he used to get so excited in his bed. I used to visit him quite frequently, and he always wanted root beer floats. Side note. Thanks. Hi, Dad. Anyway, he died on Valentine's Day, and after that, I was traveling and I was raped. I really made a mistake, and I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and surprise, surprise, I got raped. And then after that, I found a man that I thought I was in love with, and I got pregnant, and I made a choice. And at the time, I felt that was the only thing, the only option I had. I felt, with the information I had, that it was the only choice I could make. So I went and had the abortion, and they don't tell you everything that goes on. It's very cold, very dark, very painful. And I had to live with that secret. I know so many people that live with secrets, but I had to live with this secret for a long, long time, because I loved my mother, and I did not want to disappoint her. So I held this secret inside for a long, long time. I got to the point where I didn't want anything to do with any man. I didn't want any man in my life. I didn't want anything. I just didn't want to work. I didn't want to date. I just didn't want anything. And I went on a blind date and met the father of my children. We were married 6 months after we met. Don't recommend it. I was pregnant 6 months after I got married. And now I have 2 beautiful children that I love dearly. I was working every day. I was taking care of my 2 kids. And one of them had asthma, and he was sick quite a bit. My marriage was on the rocks. The father was a fireman and gone 3 nights every week. So I was alone a lot, and I had to manage all of these things. I had to take it all on myself. I can do it, I'm a bionic woman. I thought. And I hit rock bottom. And this was around 13 years into the marriage, and I just couldn't go on anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. And I knew my children needed their mother, and they needed a whole mother. They needed her to be complete. And I knew I wasn't. I had so much in me, and I just didn't know what to do. I felt helpless. I felt hopeless. And so I was listening to a radio station. And on this radio station, the numbers were 800, help for me. Help for me? Really? There's help for me? How could I do that? My kids need me. I can't leave them alone. How can I go and get the help I need? Because they need me. Things happened. It was orchestrated. My sister got laid off. She said, Susie, you go. And she supported me to go because she knew I needed to go. I thought I was going in for 3 days. It ended up being 21 days. And those 21 days were orchestrated by God. And during that time, I learned so much, not only about me and about the sexual molestation, because our minds are amazing. Our minds are amazing. It can protect us from a lot of things. But I realized that I was being prepared. I was being prepared to help other people by watching, learning. I also realized that the intervention of people surrounding me freed me, being able to expose this secret that I've been holding on to for so very long, that I was able to let it go. And actually there was this time when I had to hold my baby. I visualized my baby in my hands, and I reached up and handed my baby to my Heavenly Father. And that was the time when I felt so at peace with my decision that I had made so long ago. And I know I'll see Him again someday. I learned that I was worthy because I was feeling this lie. I was listening to this lie saying, you're unworthy, you don't deserve love. You don't deserve love. You're not lovable. You're unworthy. You're dirty. That's what I was hearing. And God says, no, Susie, I love you. You're my daughter. I died for you. You are my sweet, sweet daughter. And you are washed white, clean as snow. And I want you to be close with me. And so I gave up me, and I let Him take me, my Heavenly Father, and I gave forgiveness to those that trespassed against me, because we need to do that. We're called to give forgiveness, even if they don't deserve it, because there's people that don't deserve it. But I gave forgiveness. I forgave those that trespassed against me, and then I was free to forgive me for what I had done. And that freed me. 32 years of marriage, and I made a decision to leave my marriage after 32 years of marriage. I felt that I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore, and I didn't want to do it because I knew how it felt to be a child and have my mother tell me, Mommy and Daddy have decided to get divorced. And I never wanted to do that. I wanted to break that curse for my family. And I held on and did everything humanly possible. And I prayed and prayed and prayed. But it came to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore. So I decided to leave. But God had a different plan. He allowed me to get bucked off a horse. And He didn't make it happen. I don't believe God does that. But He allowed it. I got bucked off a horse, shattered my right leg. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to walk, if I was going to be able to dance, do anything that I used to do. I had to learn how to walk all over again. And it was shattered pretty good. I think you might have seen pictures of it, the x-ray. Anyway, I had to surrender all control. I needed assistance to just get through with just the basics in life. I needed help getting to the shower. I needed help going to the bathroom. I needed help getting my cup of coffee in the morning. That's pretty helpless, isn't it? And that's where God wanted me at that time. And luckily I had people that could help me, my family. But emotionally, physically, and spiritually, I felt very alone. Have you ever been where you've been around people? You have people around you, but you still feel alone? I felt so alone. So then I was in my wheelchair, and I couldn't walk out of my house. I had to wheel out of my house. And I did just that. I wheeled out of my house. I had to leave the life I had built and known behind. So, ladies and gentlemen, there was a poster on my wall growing up. My little sister will remember this poster. And on this poster it read, "God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." And I live on that because there are things that we can't change. I live on that because I focus on what I can do, not what I can't do. And I need to have the wisdom, and I pray for discernment every day. Lord, show me. What can I do? How do I get through this? So now we're on you. That's enough of me. Who are you? We are a summation of what we've been through, right? Each and every one of us. What is your purpose that you were created for? When my kids were growing up, I said, I cannot wait to see how God uses you, because you were created for a specific purpose, and I can't wait to see what that is. How would you define success? I'm almost 60 years old. Can't believe it, but I am. And when I think about that, I used to think success, I was pushing and pushing for success. And now I'm realizing that I want to make a significant difference in people's lives. I want to give back. What is your purpose? What floats your boat? Where's your passion? What is it? What makes you tick? So I have a homework assignment. You've got your pad and your pen. You're ready to write, right? See, you thought you were going to get out of here and just be able to sit here, but you know it's late and I want to wake you up. All right. So I want you to write these words. Are you ready? Physical. Then space it out a little bit. Go down just a little bit, a couple lines, and then put relational. Then put emotional. Spiritual. And last but not least, financial. Okay, now I want you to rate where you are right tonight. Where you are right now, I want you to rate. 1 is not real good, and 5 is fantastic. So I want you to rate those words. Where are you in the physical realm? Are you where you want to be physically in your life right now? Are you where you want to be? Do you weigh what you want to weigh? Are you strong like you want to be strong? Are you where you want to be? And if you're not, where are you? From 1 to 5. Secondly, relationally. Are you in love? Is everything just wonderful, or is there room for improvement? My mentality is I'm striving for excellence every day, and I'm never going to be completely satisfied. I can be content, but that doesn't mean complacent to me. I want to make sure that I am doing better, doing more each day. Relational. Emotional. Where are you in your emotional state? Do you have unforgiveness? Do you have a secret? 1 to 5. Spiritual. Where are you in your spiritual walk? And then financial. Where are you in your financial life? So now, I want you to look at those, and I want you to find the lowest number. Don't raise your hand. Don't speak out. Just for you. Look at the lowest number. And if I was going to do anything right now, I would look at that lowest number and say, what can I do to change it, right? I would just look at that and go, okay, I need to work on that one. You know, I always talk about the elephant in the room. How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time, right? You can't eat the whole elephant, but you can take nibbles out of it every day until it's gone, right? So that's what we want to do, is we want to look at this and go, okay, so I'm not completely happy here. So then the next question is, what is it going to take for you to like and have a 5? Or even maybe a 4? You know, maybe you don't go all the way to 5 right now. Let's just go to 4. What is it that you could do to make that 2 a 3 or a 2 a 4? What does it look like? Visualize, smell, feel. Get all your emotions, all your senses involved. What is it? How does it feel? Because you have to get all of that in gear in order for you to push through. You have to have the passion, you have to have the desire. All of that has to work for you. Vision. We talk about vision a lot in the business workplace, at home. We have to have vision. What are you passionate about? This is a saying that came up this morning when I was praying. This just came up and it says, what you believe, you can achieve. You could be holding yourself back. People do it all the time. I see people all the time when they talk. Their words put them where they don't need to be. I will correct people when they talk a lot and say, you're not starving. You might be hungry, but you're not starving. And some of you know that I say that. And it's the small steps. It's the habits we do every day. It's not this big, gigantic thing. It's what we do every day. I mean, I tell my employees, you know, I have people in my workplace sometimes, and I'll say, you know, if you want to make more money or if you want to save more money, quit buying Starbucks. It's simple. Make your coffee at home. Just the simplest little changes can make a difference in your life. So I look at it like this. In a goal, I look at it like, has everybody been to Disneyland? Disneyland, right? I think that's pretty fair to say most people have gone there. And when you go there, it's a huge place. It was bigger when I was little, but it's a huge place. And when you're standing in a place and you're saying, okay, I want to go to Tomorrowland. Okay, I don't know where Tomorrowland is, but I have to know where I am right now, right? You have to know where you are. So you know how on the map you look and you're going, there's this little thing, this little arrow, and it says, you are here, right? It's you are here. And then Tomorrowland is over there. So then you know that you are here, and Tomorrowland's over there, so there's more than one route that you can take to get there, right? You can have the direct route, or you can, oh, I want to go over here first, and I'm a little hungry, or I have to go to the bathroom, so I'm going to do, you know. Life and goals are like that, but you have to know where you are right now. Be clear, be honest with yourself, know where you are right now, and then know where you want to go, and be sure of where you want to go. Be specific in your prayers. Be specific. It's amazing. And then I just had a company meeting, and I said this to all the people, and all my employees in the meeting, is I said, we're going to evaluate what we did in 2015. We can evaluate at work, at home, evaluate what you've done, where you are, celebrate your successes, right? We have to celebrate. Be around people that celebrate, not tolerate. I love that. Anyway, that just came to my mind. Evaluate, then equip. What does equip mean? It means to, people perish for lack of knowledge, right? So we need to get equipped. We need to get the knowledge. Where do you get that? Well, you get it from people, right? Counselors. I know one in the room right now. I know one in the room. Anyway, so equipping. Books. You can get it a lot of different places, but make sure that you have safe and smart and Christian counseling to get you in the direction you want to go. The next one is encourage. We have to encourage one another, don't we? We encourage one another. So be around people that are going to encourage you. Not tell you what you want to hear, but encourage you. And then engage. Engage conversation, engage hug, engage direction, and move. Do it. Step out. Nothing happens without motion. I'm a dancer, and this is very true in the dancing world. Nothing happens until you move, and it can be the slightest of move, but you move. There has to be some movement before you have something happen. So motion, nothing happens without motion. So what have I learned? That His grace is sufficient to supply all my needs. His grace. Grace. I love that word, grace. Oh, I so need that every minute of every day. Forgiveness. Forgive those that trespass against you and forgive yourself. Let it go, right? Forgive yourself. It says in the Bible, for the level in which, or the measure in which you forgive others, you too shall be forgiven. So if you haven't, you need to. Because they could not even know that you haven't forgiven them. Guess who's in bondage? You, not them. So let it go. Forgive them. Let it go. Trust. Whew, that's a big one. Trust. Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding in all your ways. Acknowledge him, and he will guide your path. Are we trusting? Are we trusting our Heavenly Father? Do we have people around us that we can trust? This is the biggest one for me in relationships. If I cannot trust, I can't keep going. I just can't. I need to trust those that I'm around. And I want them to be able to trust me. It's very important. Romans 12:2, I ams. I have available to everyone free I ams on my website, the SueFreeze.com site. It says that you can be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's what the Bible says, is that you can be transformed. And your words can make more of a difference than any words outside of your words. You need to hear your voice. You need to hear your words, and you need to be speaking good, not bad to yourself. That little voice that, you have the self-talk, stop it if it's not good. Right? And my favorite verse for this year is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. That's my verse this year. Pick a verse, live on a verse. It's very good. The other one that I really focus on all the time, because it says to all the time, is in all things, not some things, but in all things give thanks. Our people, connections, relationships. So with that, I want to say that I would not be here, standing right here before you, if it wasn't for very many of you in this room. And I wanted to take just a minute to thank you for what you've done for me. Are you okay with that? Because I have a girlfriend and she said, Sue, I want to put life in perspective for you, because I'm saying I am all over the place. I don't know. I'm just like, I cannot slow down. What is the matter with me? And she says, Sue, I want you to think about, you have 1 year to live. You have 1 year to live. What would you do different if you had 1 year left to live? And when she said that, I was in my car. I had driven from home to my office. I was sitting in the parking lot, had 3 faces looking at me outside my car going, what are you doing? We need to talk to you. And I'm like, hold on, this is important. And everything in my body just kind of went, whew. And I teared up. And all these faces came to mind of the people that I love so much, that have been there for me throughout my life. And I just want to be able to take the time to say thank you. Because I can't do this alone. We can't do this alone. We need each other. It is so vitally important that we know that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sue Freeze right here. Come on. Yeah, very good. Please.
Hi, it's been a pleasure being here tonight with Sue Freeze. I really appreciate everything she does for everybody, and wish that we spend more time and really get to learn about each other. It was great. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shar. I'm a friend of Sue's, and I have been a friend of hers for probably 20 years, and I'm so impressed. I've seen her highs and her lows, and I'm so impressed by what she's doing and how she's taking charge of her life. It's really an inspiration that women get it together and take charge. It's very wonderful to hear all the things she's doing. I'm very proud of her. Thank you for letting me be here.
Hi, I'm Patricia, and I'm just coming out from the Sue Freeze event tonight, and it was very thrilling to finally meet her and hear her life story. I wish you could have been here. You would have been inspired by her knowledge of the Word and how she applies it to her life.
Agreed. Hi, my name is Stacy, and I came here with my friend Patricia. It was very inspiring to hear her story. I'm studying psychology, and her story is just so inspiring to me, and it helps me to, think about what I'm going to do in my future career, and I look forward to learning more about her and what she has to offer.
Good evening. My name is Darla, and I was inspired to attend this event by my friend Yolanda Williams. I just became a financial consultant selling life insurance. And in the midst of my training, my father passed away with no life insurance. And so I am inspired to share my story with everyone of what the impact that it has on the families. So I'm looking for positivity and how to expand my business. And Sue Fry's event was just what I needed, because everywhere that I go, I always hear about money, 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 but never the spiritual side of having a business and being successful. So this was the inspiration that I needed to continue to go forth in my business. Thank you.
My name is Yolanda Williams, and I was invited by Desiree. And this is an opportunity for me to take a look at things that do inspire me. And this is 2016. I'm inspired by what Sue Fries had to say. And I believe in daily affirmations. So when she spoke about the affirmations, that validated what I have always known. I went through the BC in 2001. I had 4 rounds of chemotherapy. I had 6 weeks of radiation. And one of the things that I did every single day was the daily affirmations. And I do believe very strongly in that. And I do believe that that helps us get centered, create balance in our lives, and it helps us to focus on the things that are truly, truly important. So this was eye-opening. This was a great experience to meet this lady, Sue, and also to bring one of my closest and most dearest friends so that we can all be successful in 2016, and we've already claimed it as our year. So I'm going to get married this year. I was supposed to do that last year, but 2016 will be the year. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Lattice Richards. I got this invitation to come to see Sue Fries 2 days ago, and I instantly got on the computer and RSVP'd. And on my way here, I started to think, maybe I'm a little tired. I need to go home and just have some dinner, take a shower, and go to bed. And something stopped me. And I continued to drive, and pretty soon I was on Sunset in front of the Lux Hotel. And here I am. I have to say, this was one of the best evenings I've had in a long time, supporting someone else with their passion, because what it did for me was it opened my passion and set the tone for what I'm about to do. I'm now a member with Sue. I'm going to be doing her TV show. I'm going to be going on some of the retreats, and I think it's a worthwhile investment. I'm so glad I came. I'm so glad I did it. And I'm very, very, very excited about doing this. Sue, you are truly an inspiration to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people. Thank you for a lovely evening. So long.